Hello, all. My name is Jacquelyn Pannulla. I am the Prevention Director over at WellLife Network, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about prescription pills and opioids. Following this presentation, you're going to watch a short video, and then you're going to answer some questions on Google Forms. Okay, so let's get started. What are opioids? The highly addictive class of drug that includes prescription pain relievers, the illegal drug heroin, and synthetic opioids such as fentanyl. Starting with prescription pain relievers, they're classified as a highly addictive opioid only available to you by a doctor's prescription. They're generally safe to take for a short period of time as prescribed by that doctor. Prescription pain relievers are tailored specifically for an individual based on many factors, things like your height, weight, medical history, allergies. They typically appear as a tablet or a capsule and can lead to misuse, addiction, overdose, and unfortunately death. False prescription pain relievers are sold on the street. What they are is people have the impression that they are purchasing a prescription pain reliever when really they're receiving heroin and or fentanyl pressed. The DEA conducted a nationwide sampling of counterfeit pills that they seized, and 27% of those seized pills contained potentially lethal doses of fentanyl. 80% of heroin addictions begin with prescription opioids, and that's due to the difficulty in actually obtaining a prescription for them. The unavailability of the drug increases the street purchasing. Many people believe that they're purchasing a prescription opiate while instead they are purchasing a pressed synthetic heroin and or fentanyl. The price of the street substance is made to be less expensive for an easier and convenient purchase. Heroin is a highly addictive and illegal opioid drug. Heroin is taken from the seed pod of various opium poppy grown in Southeast and Southwest Asia, Mexico, and Colombia. Just because it comes from nature does not mean it's safe. Just like hurricanes, tornadoes, those things happen in nature, doesn't mean that they are safe, right? It can be a white or a brown powder or a black sticky substance known as black tar heroin. 1 in 20 Staten Island young people, 18 to 25, have used heroin in the past month. That's a lot. Think about your classrooms. You're 1 in 20 kids sitting in a class. That's a lot of people using heroin, especially within the last month. Fentanyl, synthetic opioid, in some cases used in hospitals or veterinary offices for pain management and as an anesthetic. Fentanyl found on the street is no longer medical grade fentanyl. It is way stronger than the medical grade that we use in the hospitals or veterinary offices. It's 50 to 100 times stronger than morphine. The most common drug involved in overdoses in the United States is fentanyl. Opioid health effects is something you really have to think about. The short term is euphoria, that euphoric feeling of maybe you might feel good while you're using it, but it doesn't last. Mood swings, respiratory depression, nausea, vomiting, decreased blood pressure. Long-term effects is something you have to consider too. Dependence, addiction, tolerance, oxygen deprivation causing coma or permanent brain damage, and overdose. Signs and symptoms of opioid use. If you know someone or you see someone who you may think are abusing substances, this is something you can use. So not using the pain medication that follows your doctor's prescription, using the medication to get high or relieve anxiety, requiring higher doses in order to feel the same effects that you're used to, turning to snorting or injecting the drug, spending a great deal of time and effort in obtaining that drug. Long Island related incidents, there are 4 here. One of the biggest one that happened the most recently was in Huntington back in June. There was 5 overdoses for suspected cocaine with fentanyl, which means that these people thought they were purchasing cocaine and what they actually purchased was cocaine laced with fentanyl. And we know that the fentanyl is at lethal doses. So these overdoses happened because somebody thought that they were only using cocaine and unfortunately it had been laced with a fentanyl substance. So Rebecca's story. Addiction does not discriminate, and we should all know that by now. The video you're going to watch after this presentation is about a girl named Rebecca who was 14. She blew her ankle out during cheerleading practice and was prescribed a prescription opioid painkiller. Instead of getting better, she quickly found herself addicted to the powerful opioids and eventually turned to heroin. So you guys are going to click on that link and you are going to watch that after I finish up this presentation. I want you guys to really understand that at 14 years old, she was around your age and her addiction began to grow because of something that she could have taken care of and unfortunately wasn't able to. So take action, right? The risk of overdose increases because opioids depress the body's respiratory system and circulatory system, right? So you need to make sure that you are understanding that if there is an opioid in your medicine cabinet, or if you know someone that has opioids in their home, that you are not experimenting, you are not taking these things because you are at risk of death if you do overdose, okay? Preliminary statistics show that 16% increase in fatal and non-fatal overdoses year to date compared to 2019 in Suffolk County. So we are already seeing an increase, especially with everything going on right now, guys. We have seen a huge increase from March until now in fatal opioid overdoses. Okay. If you suspect an overdose, this is super important. Call 911. If you are trained in administering naloxone or Narcan, administer that naloxone. Conduct rescue breathing if the person is not breathing. If you are trained in CPR, you can do that as well. comfort and support, right? That's our biggest thing, is we want people to feel comfortable. We do not want to scare them. What I like to tell people is don't tell them that they've overdosed when they start to wake up or they start to come to. Don't scare them and say that the ambulance is on the way from them, that they overdose. They're going to be nervous. They're going to be scared of getting in trouble. Comfort them, support them, let EMS take over from there when they arrive. Also, visit the Northport East Northport Community Drug and Alcohol Task Force website, please, for your naloxone trainings. These are very, very important. You can get all of the information you need there, as well as the Department of Health website. I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation, and I really hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your week.